What makes a great story?
I think what makes a great story for me, I have two different responses to this question because I love film, I love movies, and I love a lot of different kinds of movies. If you look at what my collection is, or if you ask me for like a top 10 list, it's quite curated around my sensibilities and what I want to rewatch and what I want to study for future craft. Yeah. But if you looked at those, you'd still see a lot of different kinds of stories. And so, first of all, I'd say that something about what the character must accomplish turns you on. Like, you can see yourself in him or her. What they have to do is very, very, very interesting to you. And generally speaking, the kind of stories I like, the stakes are incredibly high. You know, we're talking about life and death. We're talking about someone figuring out a big piece of information about their life. If you look at the scripts that we have in development, and if you look at my next couple of projects, you see that all of these from a stakes perspective, 0 to 10 are a 9, right, at least. And that's because there's a contrast between your life every day, right, that ticks away and however you spend your day, and then when you go and watch a piece of entertainment. And I think that the films that last for me are ones where the stakes are very, very high and where the protagonist doesn't know something very important. And that doesn't mean it needs to have an O. Henry ending or an M. Night Shyamalan twist or what have you, but there's this devotion to learning about their journey. And so a great story, I think, has those components. I'm a bit of a romantic, and so I look at the fact that the protagonist is involved in some kind of love story or love conflict, or is also dealing with, they're kind of dealing with a macro conflict and they're dealing with micro conflicts because that's super real. And where a story loses me is if there are no micro conflicts. If it's just, I gotta go to the end of this place and kill all these people and that's it, then it loses me, I'm very entertained by John Wick. I have a tremendous amount of respect for those filmmakers, a tremendous amount of respect for all the training they do and their execution. The truth of it for me as a writer-director is I enjoy all of the ways they execute that concept of a movie, but I walk out of that film and I stop thinking about it. I get in my car and I drive away and oh yeah, this is Pearl Jam. And that's it. I think the most interesting stories that I'm trying to write and shoot and make into work, and the most interesting stories that are in the collection of films I was mentioning, are stories that have layers that don't serve you maybe everything you need the first viewing. And so in addition to high stakes in their macro objective, in addition to the protagonist dealing with the truth of a real relationship in the story, I think the third thing for me is that there has to be a sense of intellectual structure to the story. It has to make me think about the world they're in, or make me think about the inner workings of that protagonist, or make me think about or question my own relationship because of the amount of truth in that story. Sometimes you are in a marriage or a relationship and you watch a marriage or relationship on screen and there's this profound truth in the script and in the acting and the directing, and it makes you reflect on yourself. And those are the three things I really look for in a great story, definitely.